The story of the Igbo people is, above all, a testament to the power of resilience in the face of adversity. From the moment they first stepped into the pages of recorded history, they have been confronted by storms that could have broken lesser peoples. Yet, rather than bend and wither under the weight of hardship, they have stood tall, rooted, immovable, and unyielding. Adversity has not diminished them, it has shaped them, hardened them, and made them the indomitable force they are known to be today. History records that the Igbo were among the African peoples deeply impacted by the transatlantic slave trade, losing countless sons and daughters to ships that sailed westward into uncertainty. Yet, even in the brutal conditions of slavery, there are accounts of Igbo captives who resisted with courage, some choosing death over bondage, declaring that their spirit could never be shackled. This was not mere defiance. It was the unbreakable conviction that freedom was worth more than life itself. When colonial powers descended upon their lands in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the Igbo did not accept domination quietly. They resisted the erosion of their culture, the dismantling of their governance systems, and the imposition of foreign authority. Time and again, they challenged the colonial order through protests, petitions, and even armed resistance. The Women's War of 1929 stands as a powerful reminder. Thousands of Igbo women, armed not with rifles but with courage, rose against oppressive taxation and colonial injustice. Their courage was not an isolated act, it was the manifestation of a centuries-old spirit that refuses to be silenced. Then came one of the most defining trials in Igbo history, the Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafran War 1967-1970. Faced with political persecution, economic blockade, and the horrors of famine, the Igbo people declared the independent state of Biafra. Though the war ended in defeat, their willingness to stand against overwhelming odds showed the world a resilience that was both awe-inspiring and heartbreaking. Even in the aftermath of devastating loss, they did not vanish into despair. Instead, they rose from the ashes, rebuilding their homes, their businesses, and their lives with a determination that shocked the world. Economic hardship, political marginalization, and social prejudice have continued to test the Igbo spirit in the decades since the war. Yet each setback has been met with a comeback. Villages devastated by conflict have become thriving towns. Families uprooted by crisis have rebuilt themselves into pillars of commerce and education. Even in foreign lands far from their ancestral soil, the Igbo have found ways to flourish, refusing to let displacement strip them of identity or purpose. Resilience, for the Igbo, is not simply about survival. It is about transformation. It is the ability to take the raw material of suffering and forge it into strength. It is the discipline of holding onto hope when circumstances scream hopelessness. It is the refusal to surrender the dignity of one's heritage, even when it is costly to preserve it. This is why, when historians and observers speak of the Igbo, they cannot ignore the fact that every chapter of their story is marked by trials met with unshakable will. It is as though hardship is the anvil upon which the Igbo spirit has been hammered into steel, and each blow of adversity has only made them stronger, sharper, and more determined to rise again. The entrepreneurial spirit of the Igbo people is not a modern invention. It is a deep-rooted cultural inheritance that stretches back centuries. Long before colonial contact, the Igbo had developed intricate trade networks, both within their homeland and extending to neighboring regions. Markets were, and still are, the beating heart of Igbo society. From the smallest village gatherings to bustling urban centers, the market was where goods were exchanged, ideas were shared, and opportunities were seized. This deep familiarity with trade created a natural instinct for business that would later flourish on a global scale. One of the most remarkable features of Igbo entrepreneurship is its resilience in environments where others see only obstacles. Whether faced with limited access to capital, unstable political climates, or economic restrictions, the Igbo have shown an uncanny ability to adapt, innovate, and thrive. When formal employment opportunities have been scarce, they have created their own. Small stalls have grown into major enterprises, and humble workshops have expanded into factories. This self-reliance is not driven merely by necessity, but by a belief that prosperity is within reach for anyone willing to work hard enough to grasp it. Central to this success is the Igbo apprenticeship system, known as IgboPeople or Igbo Oso. In this system, young men, sometimes women, are taken under the wing of established business owners. They are not paid wages during this period. Instead, they receive hands-on training in the craft of commerce, learning not only the mechanics of trade, but also the ethics of trust, negotiation, and customer relations. At the end of the apprenticeship, the mentor often provides startup capital or goods to help the apprentice launch an independent venture. This system has produced countless successful business owners, ensuring that wealth and opportunity are constantly regenerated within the community. Igbo entrepreneurs are also known for their boldness in venturing into unfamiliar territories. It is rare to find a region in Nigeria, or even a country in West Africa, without an Igbo presence in its markets. From selling spare parts in the streets of Lagos to managing electronics shops in Accra, from exporting palm oil decades ago to importing vehicles and machinery today, they have built reputations for reliability, negotiation skills, and sheer determination. Many have even extended their reach to Europe, Asia, and the Americas, establishing businesses that connect African markets to global trade flows. Part of this entrepreneurial drive comes from the Igbo worldview, which values personal achievement and independence. Success is not measured solely by individual gain, but by the ability to uplift one's family and community. It is common to see Igbo entrepreneurs using their profits to fund education for relatives, invest in village infrastructure, or sponsor community projects. This merging of profit with social responsibility has ensured that their commercial ventures are not just vehicles for personal wealth, but engines for collective advancement. The entrepreneurial spirit of the Igbo is not without its challenges. Operating in environments where corruption, unstable policies, and infrastructural gaps are common demands patience and adaptability. Yet these challenges have only sharpened their skills. Every setback is treated as a lesson. Every risk carefully calculated. Every opportunity pursued with relentless energy. Over generations, this has forged a business culture that is bold, strategic, and unafraid to compete on any stage. Whether local or global, the Igbo people are bound together not only by a shared history, but by a deep and abiding pride in their cultural identity. This pride is not a shallow boast. It is the product of centuries of tradition, values, and customs that have been preserved through trials, migrations, and changes in the world around them. It is visible in their language, their festivals, their clothing, their art, and above all, in their unshakable connection to their ancestral homeland. For the Igbo, culture is not just something to remember, it is something to live, to embody, and to pass on with care. Language is at the heart of this cultural pride. The Igbo language, with its rich proverbs and vivid expressions, is considered a vessel of wisdom. Elders often say that proverbs are the palm oil with which words are eaten. And indeed, conversations in Igbo are colored with sayings that carry deep meaning. Even those who have migrated far from Nigeria encourage their children to learn and speak the language, believing that without it, one cannot truly understand the soul of the Igbo people. The effort to preserve and teach the language reflects a broader commitment to ensure that the threads of identity are not broken by distance or time. The festivals of the Igbo are another living testimony to this pride. The New Yam Festival, known as Iri Jai, is not merely an agricultural celebration. It is a declaration of gratitude, unity, and the continuity of tradition. During this festival, communities gather to honor the harvest, offer thanks to God, and reaffirm their bonds with one another. Masquerades, dances, and music fill the air, each performance carrying echoes of centuries-old customs. In these moments, both young and old are reminded that they are inheritors of a legacy far greater than themselves. Clothing, too, plays a role in expressing this identity. The flowing Isiagu tops adorned with lion head patterns, the coral bead necklaces, and the carefully tied Jeel headscarves are more than fashion. They are statements of belonging. Even in formal gatherings far from Nigeria, Igbo men and women wear these garments with dignity, declaring silently but powerfully, "I know who I am and I honor where I come from." Art, storytelling, and music carry the same weight. Traditional folktales passed down by elders teach moral lessons, warn against greed, and celebrate virtues like hard work and unity. Drumming patterns and flute melodies are instantly recognizable to the Igbo ear, evoking memories of childhood evenings in the village square. Carvings, pottery, and weaving all bear unique Igbo designs, symbols, and meanings that speak of a world rooted in both beauty and function. Perhaps the most striking aspect of Igbo cultural pride is its endurance outside the homeland. Across the diaspora, in cities from London to Atlanta, from Johannesburg to Gwangju, the Igbo form cultural unions, host festivals, and teach their children dances and songs that keep their heritage alive. Even when fully integrated into other societies, they maintain a dual identity, embracing modernity without discarding tradition. This balance between adaptation and preservation is rare, and it is made possible by a deep, almost instinctive understanding that losing one's culture is losing a part of one's soul. This pride is not passive, it is active, deliberate, and fiercely guarded. It is the reason why Igbo families invest in teaching their children lineage histories, why they return home for community events despite long journeys, and why they build houses in their ancestral villages even if they live abroad. The Igbo people have long demonstrated an extraordinary ability to adapt to new environments while excelling in whatever field they find themselves. This adaptability is not mere survival. It is a proactive transformation of challenges into opportunities, a deliberate reshaping of circumstances to fit their goals. Throughout history, the Igbo have faced upheaval, displacement, and sudden changes in political or economic systems. Yet time and again, they have adjusted quickly, learned rapidly, and carved out spaces where they could thrive. Migration has played a significant role in shaping this adaptability. From the pre-colonial period, when trade routes connected Igbo communities to other ethnic groups, to the present day, when Igbo entrepreneurs, scholars, and professionals live in cities across the globe, movement has been part of their story. Each time they enter a new environment, whether it is a different Nigerian region, another African nation, or a distant continent, they study the local customs, laws, and markets. They do not arrive simply to blend in. They arrive to contribute, to compete, and to excel. This openness to learning from others while holding firmly to their own identity is a key reason why they succeed wherever they go. Education has been a central tool in this global excellence. The Igbo have an enduring belief in the transformative power of learning, seeing it as a path not only to personal success but to community upliftment. Families sacrifice greatly to send their children to school, sometimes selling land or other assets to ensure that no opportunity is lost. This investment has produced generations of doctors, engineers, scientists, lawyers, and academics who have made names for themselves both in Nigeria and abroad. It is not uncommon to find Igbo professionals at the highest levels of international organizations, universities, and industries, proving that they can compete with the best minds in the world. In business, their adaptability shows in their ability to identify gaps in unfamiliar markets and fill them with precision. An Igbo trader who once sold palm oil in the village can become a supplier of automotive parts in Lagos, a real estate investor in Johannesburg, or a tech entrepreneur in London. They are quick to observe what a community needs and then position themselves to meet that need, often bringing with them innovations from other places they have lived or traveled. This ability to transfer skills and ideas across cultural and economic boundaries gives them a competitive advantage that few can match. The Igbo also adapt socially, building networks wherever they go. In foreign cities, they form associations, cooperatives, and cultural unions that serve as both a support system for newcomers and a bridge to the wider society. These networks help them integrate while retaining their sense of belonging. By collaborating with each other and with people from different backgrounds, they build trust, expand opportunities, and create pathways for collective advancement. What makes this adaptability so remarkable is that it does not lead to the loss of identity. The Igbo are able to embrace the strengths of other cultures while keeping their traditions alive. They navigate foreign systems, whether educational, economic, or political, without letting those systems erase their heritage. Instead, they carry their heritage as an asset, a source of strength that enriches their contributions to the global stage. The Igbo people embody a kind of determination that is not easily explained, yet it is clearly seen in their history, their work ethic, and the way they respond to challenges. It is a resolve that refuses to be defeated, no matter how great the obstacles. This determination is more than a personal trait. It is a cultural inheritance, passed from one generation to the next through stories, lived examples, and shared values. It is a strength that is as natural to them as the air they breathe. From early childhood, Igbo sons and daughters are taught that success is never given freely, but earned through perseverance, discipline, and unwavering focus. Parents do not merely speak of hard work, they live it, showing their children through daily labor and sacrifice what it means to stay committed to a goal. This upbringing produces men and women who see setbacks not as reasons to quit, but as challenges to overcome. In this mindset, failure is not the end, it is an opportunity to try again with greater wisdom and strength. The Nigerian Civil War stands as one of the greatest tests of this determination. In the face of hunger, destruction, and overwhelming military opposition, the Igbo fought not just for territory, but for their right to exist as a people. Even when the war ended in loss, they refused to be broken. They returned to lands that had been reduced to ashes, to economies that had been crippled, and to communities scattered by conflict. With little external support, they rebuilt their towns, reopened their markets, and re-established their livelihoods. This was not done with fanfare or complaint. It was done because they believed it had to be done. That same spirit continues to define them today. In business, this determination is unmistakable. Many Igbo entrepreneurs begin with the smallest of resources, sometimes just a table in a crowded market, and through years of tireless work expand into large-scale operations. They endure long hours, fierce competition, and often unpredictable market conditions, but they keep going. Each obstacle becomes fuel for innovation, each setback a reason to refine their strategies. This relentless pursuit of success has allowed them to dominate various industries within Nigeria and make their mark internationally. The same drive is seen in education. Igbo students, both at home and abroad, frequently go to extraordinary lengths to achieve academic excellence. Some work multiple jobs to pay for tuition, others endure harsh living conditions to save money for their studies, yet they remain focused on their goals. For them, education is not just about personal achievement, it is a means to uplift families, to contribute to community growth, and to open doors that might otherwise remain closed. Even in political and social life, this unshakable determination is evident. The Igbo have often faced political marginalization, yet they remain active voices in national discourse, advocating for fairness, representation, and justice. They do not simply accept the systems they are given, They push for reforms, challenge injustices, and seek ways to shape their future on their own terms. This kind of determination can be misunderstood by outsiders. It is sometimes mistaken for defiance or stubbornness, but in truth it is a disciplined, forward-looking resolve that refuses to surrender to hopelessness. It is what enables the Igbo to recover after loss, to keep moving toward their goals even when the path is uncertain, and to hold fast to their vision of a better tomorrow.